Well, good morning. We are under a first alert weather alert because of gusty winds, and I'm particularly concerned about travel through the San Gorgonio Pass and in the northern part of the Coachella Valley today. Looks pretty calm in downtown Palm Springs, but we are going to see gusty winds here. Winds up to 25 to 35 miles per hour on the valley floor. Timing is today through tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. The high wind warning will expire then, but there's a red flag warning. There are high wind watches and wind advisories. We could see gusts to 50 miles per hour north of the freeway. This could create travel issues, obviously, especially for high-profile vehicles like your RV, but also it could create blowing sand and dust, deteriorating visibility and air quality. All of those a concern. Ridge of high pressure sweeping those winds offshore. Typical for this time of year. We see it in October and November, those Santa Ana winds. But this is going to be a particularly strong period of Santa Ana winds, stronger than the ones we've seen previously. Red flag warning. But underneath that, the real concerns here. We got a wind advisory until 7 o'clock this evening for Los Angeles and Ventura counties. For us here in Orange County, Riverside, and portions of San Bernardino, particularly our mountains, we've got a high wind warning through 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. High wind watch, similar time frame down in San Diego County, and it covers a little portion of Imperial County as well. So this is the area that is covered in the Coachella Valley, Desert Hot Springs, Sky Valley. It reaches all the way down here to Thousand Palms. It covers the pass. So on the 10 and the 111 as you head out of the valley, but also the 60, you're going to see very gusty winds. And obviously today is going to be a high travel day, probably the busiest travel day all year. And so I'm very concerned about people getting on the freeway and being impacted by these gusty winds. Partly cloudy skies. Should be actually a beautiful day. If we didn't have these gusty winds, it would be fantastic. Numbers coming down. We're going to be in the 70s for daytime highs. Right now, as you step out the door, we're at 64 in Palm Springs, 56 Palm Desert, and 51 in Indio. We're down in the 40s at the east end of the valley, a good bit cooler than we were yesterday, and that will have an impact on daytime highs. We're seeing those numbers coming down just a little bit. Right now, the wind gusts, not terrible. We're seeing winds up around the 10-mile-per-hour mark, but they're going to start to get a little gustier as we head into later this morning and the afternoon. First alert, weather alert day through tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Turkey Day, temperatures in the 70s the next couple days, and then we kind of bounce back into the lower and middle 80s heading into the weekend and next week. Should be actually pretty fantastic despite those gusty winds, but please be cautious in your travels. We'll be back with more right here on News Channel 3, the Desert's news leader. Stay with us.